that's my goal, because we wanted to kill the Magic right now. I mean, obviously the goal is to win all three and take them right out of playoff contentions right now and just ruin their hopes. You know, it's great.
Hey, welcome back to Fade the Mahoney. We're recapping Predators versus the Magic, which you all watched on Friday. Predators won 3 games. The Magic won 0 games. We're joined once again by one of our favorite people in the whole world, Jason Chadwick. Thanks for coming on, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
I had a line on a couple of other additional players on, I guess what you would call good teams. And when they heard you were coming, they didn't want to get too close. So they didn't show up. Also joined, as always, by our in-house Major League Wiffle Ball expert, Trevor Savage. Thanks for joining, Trevor.
Of course. How my lighting is terrible in here. This is a bad time of day to record it. This in my office here.
You've got some like stuff streaming down, but it's all right. We can still see you. Yeah. Jason, can you make me a promise?
Yeah.
No matter how uncomfortable this one gets, will you and your buddy Cheatham come back on and help us preview the 4th slate and maybe do some gambling with us?
Yeah, I got you. I promise.
This one might get uncomfortable.
I doubt it's anything I haven't heard before.
First question I have, I don't have a lot, Trevor. You're going to do some heavy lifting, but I have this one question. How bad must a team be to throw a no-hitter, score 3 runs, and lose?
Yeah, well, part of that is on me because I think I walked like 9 of the first 11 batters of the game. Yeah, honestly, it was just because I walked just about everybody that game. So even though they didn't get any hits, I think it was 2 innings, 6 strikeouts, 9 walks, no hits. So I mean, yeah, it was honestly just because I walked just about everybody in.
It's a good line.
And why?
Yeah.
Why were you struggling?
So that series actually that series, if you got not this year, they just implemented the turf. Obviously, you can tell we have turf mounts and batters boxes. And actually, I forgot my cleats at home. So I went to take one warm-up throw and almost tore my oblique muscle, slipping. So I completely tried changing like my wind-up everything so I wouldn't slide. And like I didn't get a good grip until the 2nd inning, which was already 4-0 at that point. So it's just now I know to never, ever, ever forget my cleats for a wiffle ball series, because that probably is the reason we got swept that series. So
Jason, was the previous series, was that the one where you showed up like 20 seconds before first pitch?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Can we I don't know. Something about that? Maybe show up on time, maybe be prepared. There's a lot of Magic fans out there.
No, trust me. I definitely understand their frustrations with me, especially with how I've been pitching. I'm still trying to figure it out, just like the rest of us are trying to figure out with the bats. So I mean, we're gonna keep practicing, and hopefully those wins will come eventually.
Tell you what, this is great for us, Mike, because when we eventually own our own MLW team, we'll know what we'll have to put into the contracts of our players. Got to
bring cleats
for the game. Bring your cleats. There's going to be clauses, you're not getting paid unless you get these things done.
Yes, bring cleats. Show up about 25 minutes early. That's the first 2 bullet points on your disclaimer note.
All right. Trevor, what do you got?
Well, let's give the gambling recap first, I guess, right? That's
a good idea.
How about a line? How about the good line I set there on the over under, huh?
Yeah, I've the line on the over under was excellent. I took the under, which I told you right before we started watching it. I didn't like, but it turned out to be a very, very good line. I was live until the last at bat, right? They needed to score in the last inning to send it over. So congratulations, you won that one.
Imagine if Jason had brought his cleats, it probably would have hit under.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It would have.
All right.
It would have, because honestly, like my actual stuff honestly felt like better than it ever has. I've ever been at the Meadows. So I mean, like I got to the Meadows and I threw a couple pitches, and then once I got my footing, like I felt better than I ever have at the Meadows. So I mean, Yeah, if I would have brought my cleats, the safe bet would be that it probably would have hit the under.
Imagine how much I would have bet on the Predators had I known Jason wasn't bringing his cleats, Trevor.
I know, right? Good thing.
Well, if you notice, even on my base hits, every single time I would hit the ball, I would fall when I took my first step. So I had like 4 plays at first base, which were like under review. Because every single time I'd hit the ball, you could literally see me fall in the camera because I didn't have any footing at all.
One of my notes here was wheels. You had wheels.
Yeah.
You beat one of those out, but if you're
Yeah,
you made it.
I honestly I should have been safe on just about every single one of them. But yeah, like if you go back and watch the video, you'll see right when I take my first step towards first, I fall every single time.
All right. So Trevor, you won the over. I had the under, you won the over. I laid the juice with the Predators. I think you made that 155.
Yep.
I took the Predators. I won that one. I also sort of guilted you into letting me draft first in the ladder. So we're back the way we're supposed to be with me winning the ladder. I had Ryan Cratch. You had awesome body language, Trevor Bonham. God, has
a lot of comments about the bottom body language in the comment section of the YouTube page there.
My God. Has he asked to be traded yet or demanded, or has that happened yet?
No, it has not.
I'll tell you what, I see the kid shooting threes in the Trenton basketball league, and he doesn't have that body language. He's got body language.
No, it's ironic, isn't it? When he's winning, he doesn't show any body language.
Let's help the guy out. Let's not throw out potential trades that you get really excited about on this episode. We'll just let that one be. For the ladder, shout out Joey from MLW Stats on Instagram. Are you guys aware of this? In the ladder, first place by a mile was Ryan Cratch. He had a fantastic series, right? Did you know that if you chopped his hitting and pitching,
he still would have been first?
Second place for the game would have been Ryan Cratch pitching, and third place would have been Ryan Cratch hitting.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I mean, what he had 2 home runs?
Yeah.
I think he was like 4 for 6 one of the games. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Good series.
And, so I have a little doc here for us, Trevor, for the slate draft, of which you had Dallas Allen, Chris Cheatham, and Jimmy Norp already play. I had Jordan Robles and Ryan Cratch play. You've got Kyle left. I've got the Red Bayer and Nick Saylor left. You're currently winning roughly 131 to 47. So that's looking pretty good for you.
Speaking of Ryan, I feel like, I'm sure this isn't the case, but I feel like every time he does one of those bat flips, it's like targeted directly at me. Preview of the Preds season. But
yes.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, he bent both of the bats he hit his home runs with because of his bat flips. So, yeah.
All right, I got some analysis here, some questions for you. The first thing I have written down here, I think a pretty interesting point happened very early in the game when you got on base and then the double play at second base. Did you think you were out? What do you think looking back?
No. Well, I didn't know because it was hit so softly at me. I didn't feel it hit my jersey. So when I got up and they were all screaming and stuff, I was really confused. But no, looking back at the video, I was safe. 100% I was safe.
Yeah. And I thought it was a great base running play by you. Like,
yeah, I don't even know how
the magic hitting, like for you to get the second there is big. And if you, I think that was a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, I don't know how he made like such an accurate throw to right where I was starting my slide. That's honestly, it's just like been the way the season has gone. Just about everything negative that could happen has ended up happening. So
yeah, rough. Next question. Bonham slider. Why the hell did he keep throwing a slider when I mean, all 3 home runs were off the slider. It just didn't it doesn't look like a pitch that is a good pitch for him to throw.
So Trevor's a great pitcher, but the one thing he needs to improve on is like getting that like 2-strike put you away pitch. Kind of like I have my drop balls, Crash has his knuckle balls, screwballs, stuff like that. Trevor's arsenal is just riser, slider. And so when he gets like in these 0-2 counts, he's throwing pitches you would be throwing in 0-0 and 1-0 counts. And so like when you throw an 0-2 slider that's right down the middle to try to strike somebody out, usually the bat ends up 50 feet in the air on a bat flip like Ryan did. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's just because he doesn't have anything else to get people out with when he gets to shoot 2 strikes. So it's either riser down the middle or slider down the middle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, he's got to figure something out there.
Yeah, he just needs to get like that pitch that he can throw in like 0-2, 1-2 counts that can strike people out on. Because yeah, riser slider at this point in the season is not going to work with 2 strikes.
I mean, the crazy thing is that he was. I mean, I assume he still is leading the league in strikeouts too.
Yeah. I mean, he does, but he gives up a lot of home runs. I think just about every run he's allowed this year is a home run, because the only pitches he has are slider, riser. Those are the 2 most hittable pitches to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So even though like, yeah, he's been phenomenal this year, but he can always throw the slider right down the middle to anyone in the league, and anyone in the league can hit a home run at any given moment. So basically it's either strikeout or home run when it comes to him. So yeah, that's what you're going to get with Trevor.
The decision to start him in game 2, did you guys talk about it, or was it just?
Yeah, I left that up to him, because generally when you throw game 1 and you have a break game 2 and try to go game 3, your arm at that point it's basically like when you like sprain an ankle, it won't swell up until you stop putting pressure on it. So it's kind of like when you stop throwing, your arm tends to just give away for the rest of the day. So I just left it up to him. I said, you only allowed 2-3 runs. I said, do you feel good? Like, do you want to go game 2? And he's the one that told me he wanted to go game 2. So yeah, I left that decision completely up to him.
I don't know if you watched the preview show that we did with Ryan, but he was talking about how they had a pretty good idea of what you and Bonham would be doing pitch wise. And that's especially with those sliders, like it seemed like Warda and Ryan both knew those pitches were coming. Did you guys talk about that before the game or anything?
Like regarding our pitching, like what we're going to do to attack them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know Trevor hasn't faced the Preds as much as I am, because he got traded last season. But I mean, I've had, I think, 5-6 series against the Preds now. So I know certain pitches that certain guys can hit. Like Alec Warda crushes risers, Brennan Russell crushes sliders, and crushes sliders. So for me, I know a lot better like what to do against those guys. But like I said earlier, Trevor's arsenal is only slider, riser. He doesn't have any drop balls to mix in there. So it gets really hard when you only have a 2-pitch arsenal like that, and that team mashes off of those 2 specific pitches. Like even when I was throwing game 3, just about every strikeout I got was on my drop balls, because they are a much worse hitting team on drop balls than they are risers or sliders. So I mean, yeah, like to a point we tried mixing it up, but when it comes down to just having a riser and slider, it's really hard to catch a team off balance and off guard with that.
So you think if you had your cleats, do you think you would have pitched 2 games instead?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, my stuff felt super good that day. But I just can't be walking 9 guys in a start. That's never going to win us a game. Like we scored 3 runs, which is the most we've scored all year. So I mean, yeah, I would have loved to pitch a lot better, but I do think it did make a big difference for me.
From the other side, I guess from the hitting side, so at least you seem like you're seeing the ball a little bit better, especially against Ryan. You got hits and definitely made contact with the ball pretty well. The other guys look lost, but speak to the differences between facing Ryan in the past and facing him this year. Did you feel like you saw him better, even though his stuff seems like it's
honestly, to me, the only difference is that 2-seam screwball pitch that he has. I mean, that pitch doesn't do justice how hard it comes in at you on video. Other than that, I mean, he basically has kind of like the same repertoire he's had over the last 2-3 years. But when it comes to the 2-seamer, I was really looking for that specific pitch because my teammates were struggling with it. So I knew he would try to just keep pounding it at the zone repeatedly, even to me. So Yeah, I mean, just adding the two-seamer for him, in my opinion, has made him a much more complete and dominant pitcher as we've seen. So yeah, it's the same pitcher that I've seen over the last 3 years, but he's kind of just evolved and added more to his game that he already had.
That pitch got to be pretty hard for you to hit as a lefty too, because it's like coming at you, right? And then,
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, the radar gun, it can be a little weird sometimes because like you can throw a riser at 73, and like you've seen like the Dallas Allen drop looks like it comes in a lot harder on camera than like a typical riser, but it doesn't register at 73. So I mean, Crash can throw that pitch just about as hard as he can, and it still won't be a speed warning. So just the pure velocity of it is what makes it so tough. So yeah, I mean, he can just dominate that pitch. Like even we were talking to Kyle and Saylor. They even said in the Toledo series, like that's one of the more unhittable pitches in the league. And I mean, yeah, to a lefty, it looks like it's coming at your head, and then you look back and hit the middle of the zone. So it's really, really tough. It's really tough to hit that pitch.
yeah, the other guys all seemed pretty lost. Trevor had a couple of big strikeouts where it didn't even look like he was going to swing at any point, which is pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, we actually even practiced like 3 days before that series. I got all of the guys together, and we just had me and Trevor throw for about 2 hours to each other, like our actual MLW style pitches, to try to resemble some sort of confidence slash just anything, because obviously we were struggling mightily. But yeah, it just hasn't come together with the bats yet this year. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. We just haven't hit. It's that simple. We just have not hit the ball this year against just about anyone. I know we had 3 against McGlade, but we got to score more than 3 runs if we want to win a game in this league. So yeah, we're still trying to find it with that.
Can I ask some big picture stuff? You got anything specific left, Trevor? I was going to go into some big picture stuff.
You go into the big picture stuff, and I'll tease everybody with my last bullet point being my defense of the Magic.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. Remember a little while ago when I said, let's not talk trade stuff and get anybody else up? Yeah. I've changed my mind. You guys made the trade last year. The particulars involve draft picks, right?
Yeah, it was 2 draft picks for Trevor.
Okay. So you do not have a draft pick this coming year, right?
No, not this year.
Okay. Can the two of you who are far more knowledgeable than me come up with some sort of plan to improve the Magic? Because 1, you guys are pretty bad. And 2, I mean, you have a couple of bats in the lineup that don't really have a chance of helping. So how do we fix this? Trevor, you got any ideas? How is it fixable?
Well, the Magic are in a very, very bad situation. You don't want to be at the bottom of the standings without draft picks. You're kind of like in Sacramento Kings territory.
Oh God!
You never really want to be in.
You never want to be a King.
No, you don't want to be in that spot. I'm struggling to find trade partners also. I mean, you'd have to, assuming you're not trading Jason here, then it means you have to trade Bonham, is the only one who has any value because of his pitching.
Yep.
So you have to find a team that's looking for a second pitcher. So really, it's the Mallards.
It's the Mallards, right? You gotta go back to the Mallards. You gotta get your pick back.
Right. And like that would be the only suitor that I really see. You know, the only team that would be, I mean, maybe the Diamondbacks, but not really. I mean, they have Heath, they have Trey Flood. Like, I don't know that they would really, I mean, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I'm at a loss also.
Jason, are you working on something, or are we just resigned to the fact to be dog crap for the next season and a half?
No, I mean, me and Jack, obviously Jack's away from the team. So it's kind of been like me kind of taking the leadership role this year. I mean, I've tried just about everything. I mean, we've like you said, even if we wanted to explore a trade, I don't even think like we could do a trade with having no draft picks, and Liam and Curdy obviously do not have much trade value, to say the least, right now.
They do not.
And I mean, Trevor, like he said, like Trevor said, only has value right now, at least when it comes to his pitching, because his hitting is not where we wanted it to be. But like he said, the issue is every team now in this league with the draft has a number 2, and some teams even have number 3 arms. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I guess we just have to try to get better in the off season. I mean, we have, after the season ends, if we don't make the playoffs, I still gotta keep up hope. Obviously, I think we'll have like 6 months to try to just get better. I guess there's nothing really else we can do, but we just got to try to get better.
Logistically, after the draft is done, anybody not drafted in the world, you can make a phone call to, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. So they have to be added to the draft board before the draft, and then you pick up players off the draft board that weren't drafted. So basically, yes, like I could put some random guy from even like Europe if I wanted to. I could put him on the draft board, and if he doesn't get picked, obviously, then yeah, I can pick him up. So kind of like that, but I would have to give every team in the league an opportunity to draft him before I can just pick him up.
Right. Can you put 27 people on the draft board, or is there?
I think so.
Well, there you go.
I think you can put as many as you want on the draft board.
Okay.
And that just gets sent out to all the league captains and team captains, and then they do their homework from there on everyone on the draft board for the draft.
All right. I'm sure all the Magic fans are feeling much better after that little segment, of which there is no solution. This is a sinking ship. But Trevor has a defense.
I have the defense. Okay. Here's my defense of the Magic. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Let's remember that they went toe to toe with the best team in the league in the first series of the season, right? There was 5 runs scored total in the series, but they were really only 1 pitch away from winning the series.
That's right.
And the other game that they lost in a walk-off to Blade Walker, in the bottom of the 4th, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, all 3 of those games were very close. There are 3 series they've faced: Dallas, Daniel, Barron, and Cratch. So
yeah, it's brutal.
They faced the 4 best pitchers. Now,
yeah,
whether they're the 4 best pitchers because they faced the Magic or because they're the 4 best pitchers, we don't know that for sure. But I mean, I think they are the 4 of the best pitchers. I mean, Dallas and Daniel obviously have had an incredible year already so far in all their series. Barron had that great series, and we know Barron's a good pitcher. Obviously, we'll see what they do next week. And Cratch is having an MVP caliber season as well. So they've had a very tough schedule. They also get to face the Wildcats in their next series. If somehow they can figure out how to hit the ball and pitch the ball between now and then, they could come up with a sweep against the Wildcats. It could happen. They could still be alive. And then the Mallards, we saw the concerns the Mallards had last series. That's their final series of the season. If the Magic can go 4-2, 5-1, it could happen. We've seen it before. The Magic have never missed the playoffs.
Hey, we always do this.
They find a way, somehow, some way. They look terrible for the first 3 series, and then all of a sudden, they're in the playoffs. And
I've never been better than 3-6 after 3 series in my career.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, never.
They're used to being in this spot. It's nothing new.
Every year I've started out 1-5 or worse since I joined the league. So
might be time to look in the mirror, Jason. Will Jack be on the squad for your next series? Do you know?
He will be.
Okay. Will he learn to hit by then?
I don't know. That's not for me to decide.
One other bright spot I did see, although Liam, it felt like some at bats looked a little bit lost. It seemed like he shortened his swing up a little bit, and I felt like he made really good contact on that one pitch, and then Russ.
Yeah, one thing we did when we went in practice before the series was shortening up his swing. I mean, like you said, the pitchers we have faced have been very good, but with Liam, it's all about his timing. It seems like he's always getting his front foot down too late, which means he can never get the bat around in time. So I mean, that was the one thing I told him to work on, which is trying to pick up his foot and bring it down a little faster. So I think he did a little better job at it, but like, I mean, crash with that two seam, like I was saying earlier, like even if you put your foot up and down before he even throws the ball, you probably have half of a second to react if you're going to swing or not. So that was kind of just a really bad matchup for a player like Liam, who struggles with his timing because of how hard Crash was throwing that pitch. So I do think he will be a lot better in the Wildcats series, and I do believe he still has hitting in him somewhere. We just got to dig it out of his body.
I think that the best recipe for Magic success in the final two series is going with the 3-man lineup, especially against the Wildcats. I think if Jack's going to be there, if you go you, Jack, and Trevor. Jack has seen Kyle for years, and I think hits Kyle pretty well. So I kind of like the Magic in an upset in the next couple of weeks against the Wildcats.
Yep. Well, so we are doing a 3-man lineup for at least game one. We already decided that. So it should be me, Trevor, then Jack. I think that's what our game one lineup will be.
Is it better mathematically to have a 4-man lineup with 3 people who can't hit, or a 3-man lineup with 2 people who can't hit? Which one is
honestly, the 3-man with 2 people, because then the 1 man that can't hit gets more at bats.
There you go. Okay. Well, it seems like you got it figured out.
Hey, I graduated college.
We figured it out.
I've got 2 quick preview things to handle here. Trevor, you and I should talk to the Red Baron before the next series. What do you say?
Sounds good.
That is Cobras Wildcats, right?
That's right.
And so let's do that. And then additionally, everybody, you know the rules. If you come on the show and you have a jersey available on the MLW merch website, I will order it. Buy some jerseys. Buy Jason's jersey.
Please, yes.
He comes on the show a lot. He's great. This was supposed to be like a 10 or 15-minute episode, but Jason's so great. We've gone way longer than that. Trevor, I'm ordering a couple new jerseys.
Nice. I got to order a few too.
So I've got 2 I'm ordering soon. So we're going to have some brand new guests on the show who have jerseys in the store. Both Dallas Allen and the Red Baron, they don't have jerseys.
It's a shame that they don't have jerseys. We got to talk to Kyle about that.
Yeah, my batting average in talking to Kyle isn't super high so far.
Yeah, me neither. A lot of the times either. So.
Okay.
It's somehow lower than the Magic's team batting average.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My batting average, you can't be lower than 0. That's what I'm at. All right, I've covered everything on here. Trevor, you got anything else you want to cover?
I was just going to look up because I couldn't think of off the top of my head what the standings were. Let me see here. The standings right now with the Wildcats. Wildcats are 3-3. Cobras are 3-3. So really, the Magic are, I guess, probably rooting for a sweep from one side, right?
Yeah, we'd probably be rooting for the Cobras to win that because we still play the Wildcats,
right?
So we would have a chance. Like the Cobras, if the Wildcats win, the Cobras would have to do some things without our control.
Yeah.
So at least we still have a chance to play the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I think you're good either way. I'm on the Magic bandwagon either way because I feel like
love it.
If the Cobras win, then you're just going to beat the Wildcats, no big deal. If the Wildcats win, Cobras are going to go downhill.
The Cobras always do.
Yeah,
Cobras always do.
Yeah. So Magic are in the playoffs. We just called it here.
Confirmed.
I can't wait for you to make the line for Magic Wildcats.
That's gonna be great.
I can't wait till you make it like a pick'em.
I won't do that. Also, I just remembered one other thing. Bonham made the All-Star team, right? And with the 1-5 pitching record, the one whatever his batting average is, that's got to be the worst statistical performance of any All-Star in the history of any.
Well, it's funny when Clayton Price was an All-Star like 2-3 years ago. On the bottom it said here for pitching, not hitting. So I have a feeling we'll see the same thing for Trevor when they show his average up there.
Yeah.
Seems like you got to have at least one person from every
team.
Yeah,
every team you need one. Yep.
You guys are bad. But I love it that you come on the show and you take the
Yeah,
credit
of
that I give
course.
you.
I have a ton of fun doing it.
All right. Anything else, Trevor?
What do you think? We're going to do a show next week for updated betting lines. What do you think the magic to win the World Series betting line is?
Right now,
Yes.
like plus 4,000.
It's got to be a little higher than that.
Yeah, I was going to say 60. I was
All
gonna
right,
say
all right.
60.
It can't be that. There's only 8 teams here. It can't be that high. You only got to win. You only got to win 3 playoff series to win a World Series. So
You got to get there first, though, too.
yeah, I think the line to make the playoffs would be higher than it is to win the World Series, if I'm being honest. So
That makes sense. I like that. All right,
yeah.
that's good.
All right. I think we've covered everything. Good recap. Again, we're going to preview Cobras Wildcats with the Red Baron later in the week. And Jason, this was a lot of fun. If you wouldn't mind sticking around, I got a few more inside baseball questions I want to ask you.
Of course.
Hey, good gambling, everybody.